Hey, this is Shea.
This is Shaunna from Geeknami.
And this is another episode of Sketching Our History. So, during Halloween, did you go trick-or-treating?
I did usually just around the apartment building.
You never left the building?
I think we maybe went to a couple of other buildings that were nearby, but it was always really close.
How long did you do it until? Or rather, how many years?
I think up to junior high school, and then I didn't do it until I was older. When we went, I think that was the first time I went trick-or-treating since I was a kid.
I think we went just once.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, okay. Did you usually get a big haul? A good haul, at least?
Not bad.
Not bad?
Sometimes there would be bad stuff in there.
What kind of bad stuff, like raisin and apples?
No.
Did you know the raisin and apple thing actually only happened when the dude did it to his own family? It wasn't like targeting random kids.
I don't know what that is. There are razors and apples.
What? Yeah, so I think during my brother's years, the big scare was putting in needles into candies. But during our years, when we were in grade school and stuff, the big scare was if you go trick-or-treating, you're going to get a candied apple with a razor inside. You're going to bite into it and it's going to cut you up or whatever.
No, I never heard of that.
You led such a sheltered life.
No, I think the worst stuff I would get would be boxes of raisins, and some people gave toothbrushes.
I think it's funny. We complain about getting toothbrushes or getting socks for Christmas. But now as adults, man, those are stuff we don't have to buy. Score. So toothbrushes and raisins, those are the bane of your trick-or-treating experiences?
Yeah, I don't really remember. We didn't get a huge amount of candy. The pumpkin.
The McDonald's pumpkins?
Is it the McDonald's pumpkin?
Yeah, it looks like it.
It would be the size of that is our haul that we would usually get.
My haul was a bit different. So as far as trick-or-treating goes, I only went trick-or-treating once in my life.
That's not true.
In my young life. I went trick-or-treating once with you, like you said. But I think it was the 3rd or the 4th grade. All the kids were talking about trick-or-treating, going out, getting candy, watch it on TV. So I wanted that experience. So I put on a costume. I had a really cool Bugs Bunny mask. It wasn't a mask. It was like a full-on headpiece made out of felt. The character looked accurate and everything. In the apartment building that I lived in, there were, I think, probably 7 to 9 other apartments in that same floor on our side. I went to every single one of those. About half of them didn't open. No one answered. And the other half gave me some candy. And I have no idea why, but it just felt really crappy. I was like, oh, this feels like begging. I don't want to do this anymore. That was the only time I went trick-or-treating. In my youth, I mean. And I think I kind of ruined the experience for myself. I think the other thing was my dad was there with me and he didn't really come to all the doors. He was just kind of standing in the middle of the hall watching me go to all the doors.
You didn't wear a costume either?
No, he put on slippers.
I can imagine him standing there with his arms folded.
Yeah, I think he was leaning against the wall with his arm folded. That's what it was. It just wasn't fun, and I guess I felt like I was begging or something.
How come you didn't go with your friends?
Oh, I wasn't allowed to go out with my friends, especially at night. I led a very sheltered young life. That's why I had so many culture shocks when it came to assimilating to American culture, because I wasn't allowed to experience a lot of things. It could be a topic in another video. But my dad was redeemed because while that experience was kind of a letdown, you see, my dad worked in a deli when I was younger. And I don't remember exactly how many times, but I think it was 2 to 3 times during Halloween, he would come home with a giant garbage bag full of candy. I think his deli was giving out candy at the time, and whatever didn't get handed out, I think he would just bring home. So he'd come home, just give me this garbage bag full of candy, and I just empty it. And you know how Scrooge McDuck goes swimming in his gold coins and stuff? To me, that's what it felt like.
Did you jump into the garbage bag?
I did not jump into it, but I had this giant pile of candy. So I just take both my hands and just put my hands in the pile and rub it around and stuff. And yeah.
Did you roll around in it?
I didn't roll around in it. Come to think of it, that's kind of nasty because some of the candy was loose too. So I have all this candy on the floor that I'm sure I kind of ate too. Thankfully, my parents had carpeting and my mom vacuumed daily, but might have had some carpet fiber in my teeth.
How long would you take to eat up all of that candy?
So the good stuff would get eaten up in a day or two, and then all the bad tasting stuff I would still diligently finish, but those would take weeks. The minis, you know, the Snickers and M&M, all the little fun size stuff, those would be gone within the first hour. So I had a system of what I liked and what I didn't like. I'd organize it and I put it into piles. And then the stuff that I did like, I would just keep out, and I'd probably eat it that night within the hour. All the fun size stuff that would get eaten up. The other stuff that I liked but I didn't eat up the first night, I would set aside, and then I'd put the rest of the candy back into the black bag, I guess. We didn't keep a candy bowl, and all the way in the end would be the nasty open candy.
What was the nastiest candies that you would in there?
Back then I hated the taste of root beer for some reason. My dad would also say that, oh, root beer tastes like bug spray.
How does he know?
I don't know how he knows what bug spray tastes like, but he said it would taste like bug spray, and he also said it smelled like certain bugs. I think crickets. So I kind of went with it like, yeah, it tastes bad, I don't like it, but I love root beer now, and I love the root beer Coke bottles. Thinking back, those were the open, you know, the loose candy. So they probably tasted bad because they were loose candy. The other loose candies that were included were gumballs and jawbreakers, and the outside of the cheaper gumballs didn't have any flavor. All the flavor was inside the shell. And when I bit into it, you know, all that sugar, all that flavor came out. So I guess I still liked it. Yeah, so the nastiest would have been the root beer bottles.
And what was the top candy that you
Snickers.
Snickers?
The top candy you mean like that I liked? Or
Yeah, the best ones.
Yeah, the best one was Snickers. It was the fun size Snickers.
No Twix?
No Twix, no fun size Twix. Or at least none that I came across back then. But it was Snickers. It was Snickers, M&Ms, and Milky Ways.
M&M peanuts?
No, plain.
Oh.
And also Three Musketeers, I think. I think if they were M&M peanuts, my mom probably ate them. She liked M&M peanuts. I liked M&Ms, the plain ones, more than the peanuts when I was younger. Now I like the M&M peanuts more than the plain ones.
So was the candy for you and your mom?
No, my dad would just bring home the candy. It was for whoever. I think when people came over, they ate some too. But I would keep the good stuff for me. The stuff that if someone wanted, I'd give them the little hard candy. Like the grandma candies. But I kept the good stuff for me. I think they also had like loose Werther's Originals and things of that nature. I didn't like hard candy back then. I guess I still don't.
So did your dad ever ask you afterwards if you wanted to go trick-or-treating?
No, because I think I told him that I didn't enjoy it, and he said that I wouldn't enjoy it. So it was just proving he was right, and we just never did it again. I think when my brother was younger and we went trick-or-treating, we had a lot more families. So they had kids, so they probably bought candy and stuff and gave that out. During my time, it was a different situation.
Wait, so you did go trick-or-treating again with your brother then?
Oh, I didn't go trick-or-treating. I was in my dad's position. I was the one with my arms crossed. No, I walked around from door to door with my brother.
You didn't dress as anything?
I didn't dress up, and I didn't, ask for anything.
Would you have enjoyed it if you came with me?
Probably. I mean, back then or now? Or what?
Back then.
It depends if we were friends.
I took all your good candies.
I've seen pictures of you from when you were younger. I think if you wanted to be my friend and you made that, all those cute smiles like that picture, yeah, I would have given it to you. I was a more docile kid back then, back in the 3rd grade.
Oh, but you would eat up all the grapefruits.
Oh, that's true. I guess I was rascally. But I think when you were a kid, you specifically, the stories you tell me, you were sweet and you liked sharing and all those things. Now, I was good to people that were nice to me. My bullying sense really came in when I saw people getting whatever they wanted. So I felt this sort of injustice, which fueled me to kind of be mean to them. But when it came to other students, other classmates and stuff, I always shared, I always gave things, I always did things for them. Like growing up, I was always the artist in the class. So I'd draw stuff for people all the time. It was just certain people that I perceived they got whatever they wanted. So I felt like I didn't have to be nice to them.
So what you're saying is you were Kid Batman doling out justice.
Kid Batman? I wasn't like beating up people or leaving them hanging or something.
Yeah, the kid version, not the adult version.
Actually, when I took karate, I got kicked out because I was too rough.
Oh, time to end this video.
Okay. I'm Batman.